So going back to this idea of tariffs and about the trade between Canada and the States, it's kind of up in the air as to how things are going to happen. But a lot of things have already changed.
Yes.
Like in Canada, a bunch of people are just starting to say, no, just buy Canadian. Before anything's even tariffed, right? Before there's any difference, like now we're going to buy Canadian, we're going to do this stuff. Do you think maybe potentially it has, or that there's potential for this to turn into something good for Canada in the long run? That we start thinking more about, can we actually do stuff ourselves a little bit more?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like what you were just touching on is buy Canadian, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what we're noticing, and a lot of other people are doing, and so are we, is so you walk into the grocery store and you need two bell peppers,
Mm-hmm.
and there's your selection, grown in the U.S. or in Mexico, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
the only two op. Oh no, we do have option of grown in Canada because we have a huge greenhouse industry in Leamington. So which one are you going to pick?
Mm-hmm.
Even though the Canadian one is a little bit more money,
Mm-hmm.
and people are actually picking the Canadian one or the Mexican one instead of the US one. I'm hearing stories of the of grown in the US section is completely full, and the one right next to it is empty.
Mm-hmm.
My sister experienced it with strawberries. The
Okay.
US ones were actually quite a bit cheaper, and they were most of them were sitting there, and the shelf right next to the Mexican grown ones was empty. So
Okay.
it is happening. So
Mm-hmm.
it can be good for that's short term. Long term, we would need a pickling plant in Canada
Mm-hmm.
to pickle our own pickles we love so much,
Yeah, because I was,
right?
yeah, from what you said, 40,000 tons of pickles. What do you think? 90% gets shipped to the States, and then from there it gets shipped back as pickles.
Yep.
But here in Canada, we eat 40,000 tons of cucumbers, cucumbers or pickles,
I call them
or just
pickles. People get
a year.
confused.
And
A lot of
mhm.
times, a cucumber is the English one, the long one, right? So I
Okay,
just call them pickles.
like just for the regular
Yeah,
small
yeah.
cucumbers. Okay, so we have 40,000. Most of them usually get shipped to the States before being sent back, and but we eat 40,000 anyway,
Yeah,
so we could just eat them right here.
and put them in a jar here.
Yeah, put them in a jar here.
That's the long term answer to your
Hmm.
question, right? So I
And
would
I
say,
guess that has been the same topic in regards to oil as well,
yeah,
right? Because our oil, we have a lot of oil in Alberta, but there's no refineries. If I think is what the problem is, right? There's no refineries there, and it
that
gets shipped to the States,
that's right.
and then once it's refined, then it gets shipped back to Canada,
Yeah,
and then we use it for
yeah,
all of our things. And
yeah.
so we have it already. We just need to make the refineries, which would produce jobs as well,
Lots of jobs.
and then we have that too.